Okay, so good afternoon, everybody from New York, and it's good evening there in South Africa. So the summit is now finished. So let me just give you a quick summary of the couple of agencies we saw this morning. And what was interesting about these two was they've both been on the summit before, and they both were very complimentary is the wrong word, but they both told us how much they benefited from the feedback that we give to agencies throughout the summit. So just so that you all remember, what we do is after each session, we have to fill out a little book which talks about the highlights and the lowlights, essentially. What were the agency's greatest strengths? What were the weaknesses? What were your lasting impressions? And anything else you want to add. So, and we're brutally frank in a constructive way so that agencies can take those learnings and build on those. So the two agencies we saw this morning, the first one was an agency called Orchard. They're an independent. They are about 45 people. They've been going for a number of years. They are what they call a strategy-first creative agency. And the founder of the agency is a strategist at the core. And she's a great believer in making sure that strategy comes first. Their creativity is exceptional. And obviously her chief creative officer was there too. They had some wonderful case studies to show us, some wonderful work, great brands they worked on, not easy brands, none of them easy. And so a lot of interesting things that she shared with us, or they shared with us, wasn't just she. Then we saw them on AdForum 2 years ago. So they reminded us of our feedback, and some of our feedback was really brutal, more brutal than some of the stuff I give. But anyway, that's okay. Then the second agency was an agency called NewGen. We met them in London 18 months ago, year before last, and they were then called Kairos, and they were changing their name. You might remember, or you may not remember, because I did relate it. And they are the agency that's specialist in creators and influencers, and particularly in the area of gaming. And so we heard a lot about them. We also played a game. We played bingo, and we had to spot the typical buzzwords within industry, things like alignment or social first or culture, etc. You get the impression. And then we would win at bingo. Anyway, it was all good fun. And we then had a wrap-up session afterwards. We talked about the highs and lows of the summit. We talked about what we learned. We talked about what we were looking forward to. The next summit is going to be in London in October. It's already pretty heavily booked by agencies, which is good news. And it'll be a 4-day session. It's increased from 3 days to 4 days, which I find quite interesting. And then we also talked about the summit for 2026, and that will be interesting. And it looks like we might incorporate a further leg into the New York summit, but more about that when I talk to you during the course of the year. So that's it from me, and I've thank you for listening to these every day. It's been nice to get feedback. I've been getting some nice feedback over WhatsApps and email from various people, so it's good to hear that my words are being listened to and that it's been something of interest during the course of this week. And I'll be back in South Africa by the time you see this post, because it'll be going out on Monday. So I'm looking forward to the journey back and looking forward to being back. And see you all when I see you. Okay, bye for now.